people on the perimeter, keep them in dominoes. And we kept running into traffic, traveling, going too fast. It was all game. It wasn't just the fourth, the team needs to believe in themselves. And I think they get to points in games now. When you lose a few games, you start to, here it comes again, right? You start to feel like it's the same thing. It's not the same thing. You always have an option. You always have a choice to adjust, make the changes. And really, I think that down the stretch of these last few games, we haven't made the choice to go take the game, to go win the game. We're playing scared. And we're running out of time to make the adjustment. So we will keep working on it.
With that said, how difficult it comes in taking this show on the road now for the road trip?
Oh, no question. It's hard. But that's the WNBA season. That's being a professional athlete. We could have controlled our own destiny, and we just didn't win the games that we needed to win. And the thing that I'm most frustrated with is that we're not taking the steps. We're doing the same things over and over again. We talked about this in the locker room. We need to be taking steps. I can handle a loss where we execute and we just didn't make enough shots or whatever. But the lack of execution on both ends, the sometimes effort, the sometimes stay together, the head hanging, it's got to change. It just has to change.
Coach, first I wanted to ask you about Jackson Jones. Even while presumably being injured,
Can someone mute whoever's? Sorry, what was the second part?
Just where she stands status-wise.
Yeah, I don't know yet. It looked like it hurt her pretty bad. She's tough. So, if she's wincing like that, she's probably hurting. I'm sure we'll find out more. We'll get it looked at and find out more. But yeah, I mean, the presence of mind to stay in the play, and secure the possession in that moment was really great. I mean, she's tough, right? Like that's proof of it.
Also, even as we were speaking earlier today, Coach, I was thinking about the background that you have and kind of what I understand of you enjoying the process of training and developing leaders. And I'm just curious from that aspect of your background, where you and your staff think you can go, as Matt mentioned, now that you're headed on the road.
Yeah, it's leadership is a really nuanced skill. It's not something you're born with necessarily. It's there's so much that goes into it. Personality type, understanding a moment, reading a room, empathy, or a lack thereof. Sometimes really great leaders don't have empathy at all. They don't care. They just drive, right? And that can work. I think our group, we've got a handful of players, in Sammy and Betnijah. They haven't really gotten to do that yet, right? They haven't gotten to own it and have their own team. And I think, even if you were to go back to college, you probably wouldn't see them kind of being handed the keys and being a leader. And so, we talked in the locker room about being a broken record about certain things. And one of the things I've been a broken record about is that, they have to go through these moments, yes, but they have to make the changes too. So yes, the experience is essential, but they've got to learn from it and they've got to grow. And so when you talk about my background, in terms of leadership, in terms of trying to teach that, it's to focus on the process of day-to-day improvement and not be overly swayed up or down by wins or losses, right? Like you've just got to focus on, are you growing? I think that in some ways we've seen growth, and I think in some ways we've seen regression. And so I think as far as the leadership going on the road now, it stays with the same focus. We have to be focused on our process. We have to be focused on everyone watching the film and saying, how can I be better? What tangible goals do I have that are trackable, that I can make sure that I'm making the adjustments I need to make to help my team?
Coach, I just wanted to sort of get a read of what you thought of Natasha tonight, maybe how she made some progress between what we saw on Wednesday and tonight.
Yeah, I think she was more poised in the post. She still had a few where she got sped up or, got happy feet. She had a one or at least one travel, maybe more. But yeah, I thought she looked like she let the game come to her a little bit more and she wasn't forcing as much. I thought still at moments on both ends, she looked sped up, and then there's moments where she looks like herself, and she just needs to stay with it, and we'll keep working on it.
I also wanted to ask, what do you attribute potential regression to?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. The way that we're approaching preparation is it's evolved throughout, but it doesn't leave behind the fundamentals. We work on the same things throughout the season. I think, I do think to some extent it's a lack of focus in the areas that we're regressing. And I think the team defensive schemes have been one of the things where potentially there's some slippage because we've gotten a little bit more creative with how we guard people. We've added ices in. But it's really hard to say outside of that because not much has changed in terms of the way that we prepare.
And the last one, I just wanted to get your thoughts as to how you thought Beth was able to handle Diana when she was on her. I know she got 5 fouls, but there was some stretch where it seemed like she's very comfortable defending.
Yeah, Beck was really good. Beck was really good in a lot of ways. I thought we missed her a lot. I thought she was open a lot on a basic drive and kick, and we just kept our dribble and we kept running into people. All we had to do was drive and draw. And Beck has some work to do in terms of when she puts the ball on the floor. And that's something that's fixable. And I just told her that. Look at how far Sammy has come from working on finishing, working on getting to 2 feet, using her body, her pace when she drives, taking an extra dribble instead of picking it up and taking long steps that they can time. It's all stuff that we can teach. Unfortunately, that, part of that is that we did that work during the 3 weeks that Beck was with the Australian national team. And so she didn't get that same work. And so it's definitely something we can move the needle on. It's going to take a little bit of time. In terms of her defense, yeah, I trust her defense really on almost any position. Even when she's outmatched size-wise, she's just feisty and she fights around. And I've been really pleased with Beck and her effort. And I thought tonight she really tried to will us at times. And, she did everything she could.
Thanks, Coach. Just wanted to get your thoughts on coming off Wednesday's game, what things the team was able to focus on and that players only.
Can you repeat that again?
Sure. What did you focus on the players only meeting that you had? And then how do you feel that you executed? What would you like to see improved?
What we learned as a team is like the little thing that we can control is like rebounding, turnovers, and it's communication. Laney always harp on us communicating consistently, and I think we doing a better job as that as a team. And what I learned from it is be more a leader, like a leader on the floor, helping my teammates out the best way I can, and not get frustrated.
Can I take it?
Okay,
do it.
so this could be for any of you, because I really think it applies to all of you. In the W,
well, Coach was discussing how, the leaders on this team you're experiencing something for the first time where you're sort of being given the keys to the car, and in your WNBA careers, this might not have been something that has happened before. So I'm curious as to how situations like this start to, I guess, shape that experience for you, and sort of give you a check as to, okay, like this didn't work, and sort of just building more, I guess, your roles as leaders, the three of you.
That's you.
Like you said, it's a learning experience. So we're just trying to learn the best way we can through everything that we're going through.
Becca, I want to ask you about how you felt going up against Diana tonight, and just sort of what you felt like you were able to do, successfully against them.
I knew from the last game in particular, I needed to be more physical, meet her early, make it hard for her. Ultimately, every time she came off, I think we did well with like switching in moments. Everything is sort of in moments at this point. But I just wanted to make every shot I could difficult for both like her and Skylar. Obviously penetration downhill was difficult in moments as well. But yeah, we just need to come back together and sort it out. Yeah.
And finally, Coach said that he feels like there's been just a bit of regression. Do you know what you could attribute that to? I mean, I know it's tough, and I'm sorry.
I mean, it's all about us growing from each game. It's all about us learning from the last one and making adjustments. I believe that this game we did make some adjustments from the last one. Do we make enough? No. Was it consistent? No. But ultimately, I think that each of us just need to take a minute to look at what we did today and in past games as well, and seeing like, hey, what area do we need to grow in for us to be successful in the next game going into against Minnesota. It's going to be another game. We need to steal it. We need to take this win because no one's going to give it to us. Yeah.
Hey guys, just the third quarter and the second, you made this run to take the lead. What did you do well there that you take with you on the road for the next couple games? Obviously, huge games you got to try to win.
We did a good job of rebounding, limited to one shot only, and also pushing the ball. And we also did really well just screening, having open looks for our shooters, and also we did inside and out. And that's one thing we actually did good this game, and we kind of got to keep growing with that too as well when we play against Minnesota.
Going off of that, I mean, obviously not the result you guys were looking for, but were you encouraged by that stretch? Is that something that you feel like you could point to and say, okay, this is where the progress lies, and we're more resilient than maybe we were last game?
Can you repeat that? Sorry. Can you repeat that a little? The last part of your question?
Yeah. Basically, Doug referenced that that third quarter stretch there where you guys came back and took the lead. I'm wondering if you took encouragement from that, and if so, what you can point to, I guess, as a point of resilience.
I mean, it just goes back to what Beck said. We made some adjustments for the game. So if we can continue to build off of that and then just clean up the things that didn't go well for us, we can hopefully get different results.
Thank you.
Miles Early.
Hi, I've got one for Natasha. You were incredibly efficient from the floor tonight. You made your first 3 shots and then later hit 3 of 5 from outside of the paint. What was working so well for you tonight that you were able to score from all 3 levels?
Couldn't do it without my teammates. We knew that Mercury was gonna double on Laney, you know, we had to make sure we space out for her to pass the ball and stuff like that. And I was in those type of spots that she could actually pass me the ball and score and stuff, but it was a team effort for me to get those type of shots and just me just doing it on my own. So
Thanks so much.
Cortland Griffin.
Cortland Griffin with a 3-point conversion. This question is for anyone. There was times where it seemed like when the Mercury would come up and double that you guys had good passing lanes into the paint. And it seemed like at times you guys got away from that. Is that something that you feel like you can implement more going forward as the season progresses?
Yeah, I mean, I think that we should definitely keep focusing on getting the ball inside, both to our bigs and our guards that are posting up. I think that that's a huge advantage for us. And like you said, we just need to keep going to that, especially if, you know, that's the way that we're scoring.
Thank you for your insight. Thank you.
Thank you all for joining. We'll send a post-game note shortly.